Good morning, everybody. Greetings from the Department of Pathology, GMC Amritsar. The topic we are going to touch upon is LBC, that is liquid-based cytology, a newer diagnostic modality. Now, what is this liquid-based cytology? It is a process of making a monolayer cell preparation on the slide after dispersion of the cells from a sample in a liquid medium. LBC was initially invented for cervical cytology to overcome false negative results in the conventional smears. Now the LBC is also being used for non-gynecological cytology. In LBC, the material, instead of being smeared on a slide, is rinsed in a liquid preservative collection medium and is processed on the automatic devices. LBC finds application not only in gynecological smear preparation, that is Pap smears, but it also finds its application in non-gynecological cytological smears like FNA of the solid organs, thyroid, lung, breast, etc., and in exfoliative cytology like serous effusions, urinary specimens, bronchial brushings, and other endoscopic brushings. Coming to the applications of LBC in gynecological cytology. Worldwide, cervical carcinoma is the third most common cancer in the woman, but 50 years back it was the leading cause of cancer mortality. This drastic decrease in the incidence of cervical cancer is seen with screening, and much credit for these dramatic gains goes to the effectiveness of the Pap test in detecting the cervical precursor lesions as well as early, low-stage curable cancers. The accessibility of cervix to Pap testing and visual examination, that is colposcopy, as well as slow progression from the precursor lesion to invasive carcinoma, provides ample time for screening, detection, and preventive treatment. Now, conventional Pap smears, they played a very important role in cervical cancer screening, but a study published in the early 90s in the American Journal of Clinical Pathology found that about 80% of the samples which were taken from the patient using a conventional Pap smear technique were not smeared on the slide, but they remained on the collection device. So to overcome this, newer laboratory technologies have been evolved to overcome this problem, and LBC is one such recent technique which plays an important role to decrease the false negative cytology reports. So the various drawbacks which could be seen with conventional smears were a non-uniform slide preparation leading to fixation artifacts. The smears that were made by conventional method were quite thick with overlapping cellular areas. The smears were obscured by inflammation and blood. They were drying artifacts, air drying artifacts, which resulted in poor cellular and nuclear preservation. And the conventional smear preparation were tedious and time consuming to screen. The advantages of LBC were a formation of standardized cell preparation because of complete dispersion of the cellular aggregates. There was optimal cell preservation, a relatively clean background which was free of blood, mucus, necrotic debris. The automation of the slide preparation and staining led to a decrease in processing time and a faster evaluation. The cell suspension that was remaining after the slide preparation could be used for other ancillary studies like molecular testing. There was a decreased rate of inadequate sampling. So overall, there was a reduction in the cost to the patient because the fewer smears had to be taken, prepared and read, and LBC smears were cleaner, they were flatter, and they covered a much smaller areas, so the screening became easy and quick. So this is a picture which is showing a conventional smear on the left side, right side, which is being compared with the LBC smears which are taken on the left side. The area to be screened on the LBC preparation is much smaller as compared to the conventional smear which is seen on the right side. So the LBC systems, we have different LBC systems which could be manual systems or it could be automated system. In manual system, we have liquid prep method, we have Cytotec monoprep method, but automated method like thin prep and SurePath, these are the two methods which are generally used and they are FDA approved. We have other methods as well. These are Cytoscreen, Easy Prep, TriPath prep methods, etc. So coming to the automated methods, the two systems for liquid-based cytology which are most popular are the thin prep and sure path method. The two systems have entirely different theory and methods, yet they produce similar results. In thin prep method, the principle used is filtration and collection of vacuum packed cells on a membrane, and then these cells are transferred onto the glass slide, whereas in sure path method, the principle of centrifugation and sedimentation using a density gradient is used. Other systems are under development and cannot be implemented at this time. Coming to the sure path method, which is a method which is being used in our department in GMC, a brief overview of various steps that are involved in this procedure are: first is a sample collection, which is generally done with the help of a broom-like device or a combination of brush spatula, which has a detachable head. So after the sample is taken from the smear, from the cervix, the head is detached and is dropped in a sure path vial which contains a fixator, which is an alcohol-based fixator, and then the vial is transported to the laboratory for further processing. The vials contain ethanol-based fixative or a preservative which keeps the sample stable for about 4 weeks at room temperature and about for 6 months at 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. The samples received in the laboratory are processed further through various steps, like the vials are first vortexed. A total of 48 samples can be vortexed each time, and then the cell enrichment process is done by mixing the vials with a density reagent and is then centrifuged for a few minutes. This helps to remove the unwanted elements like the blood, mucus, necrotic debris, which are removed by centrifugation. The supernatant fluid is decanted off by vacuum suction, and the remaining fluid is again centrifuged to get a cell-rich pellet. This cell-rich pellet is revortexed for a few seconds, and then it is transferred onto the slide processor, which has a settling chamber. And there, the cells are deposited on the pre-coated slide and are stained automatically with the help of a program software. The various stains which are used for staining are H&E stain mostly, and we have a PAP stain that can be used. This is a workflow format which is being provided by the company, documenting the various steps which are involved. Okay, coming to the various examples now to compare the conventional smears with the LBC smears. On the right, we have the LBC smears, which are found to have, which are mostly seen are clean. They have a clean background with a better cellular preservation. There is no drying artifacts. Overall, the cellularity is much more than the conventional preparation, which is seen on the left. This is a smear of L-cell, that is a low-grade squamous intraepithelial lesion. Though the nuclear hyperchromasia is minimal, but the nuclear morphology is better preserved in LBC as compared to the conventional smears, which is seen on the left. These are the smears of H-cell, that is a high-grade squamous intraepithelial lesion. Here the cells appear to be more dispersed. Nuclear hyperchromasia may be lost in many cells, though the morphology and the chromatin pattern are better preserved in LBC smears. This is an adenocarcinoma slide of a cervix, where the morphological feature, that is a feathering pattern of adenocarcinoma, is better visualized in LBC preparation in contrast to the conventional smears. Okay, coming to the adequacy of the samples in LBC preparation according to Bethesda system. In conventional smear, about 8,000 to 12,000 cells were considered adequate, whereas in LBC, only 5,000 cells are considered adequate, whereas 2,000 to 5,000 cells are taken in the borderline category and below 2,000 cells are taken in the inadequate category. So the various disadvantages which LBC technique finds are: the LBC technique is a costly affair and it requires a trained cytotechnologist to interpret the LBC smears. There could be loss of familiar pattern. Though the nuclear features are enhanced, this can lead to overdiagnosis. There is a loss, distortion of architectural relations between the cells and the stromal fragments, and there is loss of diagnostic material. So to conclude, the LBC preparations are representative, they are homogeneous, and they form a uniform smear. Most of the diagnostic criteria which are utilized for conventional smears are also applicable to LBC smears. LBC smears required more familiarity, they required more experience and slight modification in the diagnostic criteria to utilize are required for accurate interpretation and to avoid diagnostic pitfalls. In our institute, LBC is mostly used for cervical smears. So, to conclude, early detection of cervical precancers can save many lives. Coming to the LBC cytology, LBC in non-gynecological samples. We know LBC can be used for solid organ FNAs like thyroid, lung, breast, or it can be used for exfoliative cytologies, in brushings, in fluid cytology, in urinary examination. So the method here used is slightly different from the method that is used in gynecological sampling. Here the sample is first added to a cyto-rich preservative, which is then covered with the help of a cotton plaque or an aluminium foil. This cyto-rich preservative helps to collect, preserve, transport, and transfer the cytology specimen. Now the various stains here used are also H&E stain and the PAP stain. This is a picture showing a cyto-rich preservative where color coding is done for the ease of identification of the different fluids. Now the red fluid is alcohol-based hemolytic preservative. It is excellent for FNAs and is indicated for bloody sample types. It helps in lysing the RBCs and solubilizing the proteins while preserving the diagnostically relevant cells. The clear fluid is used for all sample types, whereas the blue fluid is a non-hemolytic preservative which is excellent for urine when the blood cells need to remain intact. The procedure that is used in non-gynecological LBC is the sample, after mixing with the preservative, is homogenized, it is centrifuged, and the supernatant fluid is decanted. The remaining suspension is again revortexed. After adding distilled water to it, it is again centrifuged, decanted, and a homogenized sample is then made. Coming to the applications of LBC in non-gynecological specimen, taking few examples. This is a smear of a thyroid FNA sample showing colloid goiter under the conventional smear, whereas in LBC, there is a loss of colloid that is seen. This is a smear of papillary carcinoma thyroid. The nuclear grooves and pseudo-inclusions seen in conventional smear are generally attenuated in LBC preparation. The FNA of lung, small cell carcinoma, the nuclear molding is less obvious in the LBC preparation, though the nuclei appears more conspicuous. The squamous cell carcinoma and the adenocarcinoma of the lungs are easily recognized on LBC because the nuclear characters like the pleomorphism, nuclear irregularity, hyperchromasia are well preserved. Coming to breast FNA specimens, this is a smear of a fibroadenoma. Under conventional smear, it shows a typical staghorn pattern, whereas in LBC, the smears appear fragmented and there is a decrease in myoepithelial cells. This is a ductal carcinoma breast smears. Under conventional smears, in LBC, the cells appear more separate out and the nuclear morphology is better preserved. In respiratory system, used that is for sputum and bowel specimen to detect microorganism. This is a specimen of Aspergillus fungus where the hyphae of the Aspergillus are better visualized in LBC as compared to the conventional smears. The squamous cell carcinoma of the lung in BAL preparation, because the underlying background is relatively clear, so the cells are better visualized in LBC as compared to the conventional smears. But in adenocarcinoma of the lung, because of the loss of mucin, which generally occurs in LBC, it becomes slightly difficult to diagnose adenocarcinomas. In urinary specimens, the cellular, non-cellular elements like the crystals and the erythrocytes are better restained or retained, and the specific urinary assays like the immunocytochemistry can be done from the cell blocks which are made from the cellular remnants of LBC or other molecular techniques like DNA, RNA, molecular protein molecular analysis can be successfully applied to the samples collected for LBC. This is a smear of a high-grade urothelial carcinoma. Under conventional smear, the cells appear separate out, whereas in LBC, hyperchromatic cellular groups are seen. In ovarian tumors or cystic ovarian masses, there is loss of mucin, so it becomes difficult to diagnose benign mucinous cystic lesions and mucin-producing adenocarcinomas under LBC preparation. So coming to the advantages of non-gynecological LBC, the LBC techniques are easier, they are quicker, they are safer, and require less of skill. And this adds an advantage to the pathologist because the confounding factors like the blood, the necrotic debris, the mucus, etc., they are very minimal. The cell preservation is excellent. There are less of fixation artifacts. There is even distribution and less overlapping of the cells and the fewer number of slides that are to be examined. But the disadvantages seen with LBC are because of the chemical and physical forces, cytomorphological alterations do occur in the cells. So a support of conventional smear becomes essential for the diagnosis. The artifacts which are generally seen with non-gynecological LBCs are, as far as the cellular morphology is concerned, there is cellular shrinkage, there is disruption of the tissue fragments, there is fragmentation of the larger cellular sheets, formation of cell clustering, or increase in single epithelial cells. As far as the nuclear morphology is concerned, there is increased naked nuclei, decrease in the nuclear chromatin details, exaggeration of nucleolar prominence and attenuation of nuclear grooves and pseudo-inclusion, and the background appears clear because of loss of adipose tissue, stroma, mucin, colloid, and the colloid which does appear on LBC appear as a dense droplets. The lymphocytes appear aggregated rather than being dispersed. So to conclude, the LBP, that is a liquid-based preparation done in non-gynecological samples, can be valuable technique when used in combination with conventional method, but in gynecological samples, LBC does find an edge over a conventional methods. Thank you.